Hi everyone, and you are welcome to this lecture, Lines in Python. In this lecture, we are going to learn about single line statement, multiple line statement, and multiple statements in one line, and I will end up this lecture by a quick summary. So let's get started. Most often, when we write our code in Python, we write one statement per one line, like the following program. As you see here, I say y equal to 3 plus 5, then print y, then I assigned 5 to a, 6 to b, and I assigned a plus b multiplied by 3 to c. As you note from this simple program, that each line has only one statement. But sometimes we could need to write one statement over multiple lines. Maybe the statement is very long. So we need to know how we can write a statement over multiple lines. In Python, if you want to write one statement in multiple lines, we have to use line continuation character, / at the end of each line. So it's very easy. You can divide your statement into multiple lines, but keep in your mind that you have to end each line by the continuation character. There is an exception for this rule that if a statement uses square bracket, curly braces, or parentheses, you don't need to use line continuation character at the end of the line when you want to divide the statement over multiple lines. We see these brackets a lot in Python. So for example, square bracket, we use it for defining a list or for indexing or slicing. We use curly braces to define dictionaries or sets. We use parentheses to define tables or after the function name in order to call this function. So in any one of these cases, if you want to write your statement over multiple lines, you don't have to use the continuation character. Now let's talk about multiple statements in one line. As I mentioned before, most often you will write one statement per one line. But if you have some short statements and you want to write these short statements in one line, so you don't want to put each statement in an individual line, you can do that. And in this case, you have to use semicolon between each two statements. Now let's move to PyCharm IDE in order to see some real examples about single line statement, multiple line statement, and multiple statements in one line. The first example that I want to show you is an example about single line statement, which we are already familiar with. So for example, if I say y equal to 3 plus 5, print y, then I will run. As you see here, I got 8 because it's the value of y. And here it's a very simple program in which I write each statement in one individual line. Now, let's see another example in which I want to write one statement over multiple lines. As you see here, I have defined a to be 3, b to be 5, and c to be a plus b plus 2 multiplied by b plus 3 multiplied by a. Now if I run, the program works without any problem, and you note here that I have one expression divided over multiple lines. So if I run this program, I got 27. Now let me show you how I can write the same example exactly in one line. So in this case, I will put all the expressions in the same line, and I will remove any continuation character. Run again. I will get 27. So if I get back to my example again, you will see that each line, in case of multiple line statement, is ended by the continuation character, which is / except the last line. Python interpreter will understand that all of these lines belong to the same statement you are trying to calculate beginning from the line number 4. Now let's see one more example about multiple line statement. If I want to define a list, its name A, I will say A, 2, 3, 4, and I will print A. Now if I want to define this list over multiple lines, you will see that I can say A equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, and if I print, I get again the list printed without any problem. And here I don't use any continuation character because I mentioned the exception that if you use curly braces or square bracket or parentheses, you don't have to use continuation character when you want to divide your statement over multiple lines. So in this case, I defined a list. If I make it as a set, I just replace the square bracket by curly braces and run. And as you see, I got the result correctly without any problem. Now let me show you the last example, which is about writing multiple statements in one line. So let me say name equal to Samir, for example, comma, last name equal to Sallam, comma, then I print Samir Sallam. If I run this code, I will get here Samir Sallam without any problem. And you will note here that I have three statements. The first one is name equal to Samir. The second one is last name equal to Sallam. And the last one, it's print Samir Sallam. As you note here, because I write more than one statement per one line, I separate these statements from each other by using this semicolon. And that's all for this code session. So keep in mind, the default case is to use one statement per one line. If you want to divide your statement over multiple lines, you have to use continuation character. And if you want to write more than one statement in the same line, you have to separate these statements from each other by using semicolon. Now let's recap what we have learned in this lecture. First of all, we see that we can write single line statement, and this is the typical way, or let me say the default way. If you want to write one statement over multiple line, you have to use continuation line character at the end of each line except the last line. And don't forget, there is an exception of this rule when we use curly braces, square bracket, or parentheses. In Python, you can write multiple statements in one line, and you have to separate these statements by using semicolon. Please refer to the file Lines in Python Challenges, in which you will find some exercises to practice what you have learned in this lecture. Thank you very much for your time, and if you are available, join me in the next lecture.